Hey guys, what's up? Sorry if I know I promised a review of Henry a year ago, but I just got lazy and didn't do it.
Yeah, I've been waiting a whole year for this thing. What the heck?
Oh, if you guys don't already know, um, I have a special guest with me here.
Hey, how's it going? It's Tom and Friends Variety.
Um, he's my friend from college, and we decided to just do a review of Henry. Ignore the dogs barking in the back. They're just being annoying.
Shut up, Penny.
Yeah, Penny, knock it off. Anyway, so here we are with a review of, well, Henry the Green Engine, as you can guess by the title.
Huh, really?
So, Tom and Friends variety. Care to start it off?
Well, no. It's your model.
Okay, yeah, you're right. Okay, so to start off with, Henry was the very first engine created in the Railway series.
No.
Well, Henry was one of the three characters created in the Railway series,
There you go.
and he made his first appearance in the book, The Three Railway Engines. In the story, care to find it?
Sad story of Henry, obviously one of my favorites.
In the story, the sad story of Henry.
Which is the third story. Once an engine attached to a train was afraid of a few drops of rain. It went into a tunnel. He squeaked through its funnel and wouldn't come out again. Hey.
Yes, that's exactly what I was thinking.
Yep, page 34 in the little book.
Yep, so this is the story.
I don't even need to read it. I know that by heart.
This is the story. You know.
Well, there's another thing about Henry character too, which we'll get into later.
We'll get into that later. And then Henry again had the sixth Railway Series book all about himself. Railway Series book number 6, Henry the Green Engine.
And he had a couple too, or at least one of them by Chris Audrey.
There was another one called Henry and the Express. So Henry basically had like two and a half books about him. 2.5, I guess. I don't know.
He had all these books to himself, but he still had other stories that he was going with.
Yeah.
Troublesome engines and stuff.
Troublesome Engines, yeah.
He had a couple.
So then, something interesting that I would like to note is, actually, we'll get into that later. Henry first arrived on Sodor around.
Not sure about that.
I think he arrived somewhere in the 30s. I don't know. I could be wrong.
I don't know about that either. But...
I don't know. I don't actually know what year we don't actually know what year Henry arrived on Sodor. Do you know?
Not too sure, but I've heard that it's at least the 1920s is when the three railway engines takes place in the 20s is what I've heard.
Ah.
We don't entirely know. It's like the earlier Railway series books, don't exactly know when they take place, but most of them afterwards take place in the year that they were published.
Yes, like Thomas the Tank Engine book, for example.
No, that's
or not.
the earlier one. I'm talking about like
later on.
Like branch line engines takes.
Yeah, this takes place after branch line engines takes place after after the arrival of Daisy.
It takes.
Daisy's arrival
is in that book.
Oh wait, Daisy's arrival is in that book.
It was published in 1960. It takes place in 1960 and reflects the events going on in 1960. Something like that. If I'm not mistaken.
Okay. So, when Henry first arrived on Sodor, he was a failed experiment. Because he was a hybrid of two different engines. He was a hybrid of the Sir Nigel Greasley's A4 and a GNR C1 Atlantic.
I think so. I'm not too sure.
And that's what gave Henry, his old shape, which was seen in the books and which was seen in the early books and as well as the early days of the TV series.
Yeah, that's another part about the character, which I guess we'll get into later.
We'll cover Henry's personality later on.
His origins and stuff. We'll see about that.
But Henry, afterwards, he obviously had trouble steaming. Like he couldn't pull like heavy trains like the other engines, like James or Gordon or any of the other engines. So what happened was Sir Topham Hatt gave him a second chance at Welsh coal, and it greatly improved. Granted, he still had problems with that, but
he was okay.
he was okay after that.
No, he did splendid.
Well, yeah, he did great after that. And then there was the famous accident, Henry's flying kipper crash, which was the result of his rebuild.
Who cares? This is good cocoa.
Nice one. So after Henry's accident with the flying kipper, Sir Topham Hatt sent him to Crewe for a rebuild, as Woolman can show you,
Woolman 24.
I mean,
I haven't heard that name in
as
years.
as Tom and Friends Varieties shows you. That's Henry in his old shape,
Of course.
and here he is in his current shape, which is his black 5, whatever.
Yeah, that's
I'll cover the basis later.
that's weird.
So, after that, that was it. I'm not going to mention Henry being bricked up in the tunnel because we already know about that.
See, that's another thing I've heard somewhere before a couple years ago, that Henry caused the Reverend W. Audrey a lot of trouble about his rebuild and being painted blue and all that stuff. Is that Henry was kind of pushed back in terms of character appearances in the Railway series.
Really?
He didn't have a really huge role for quite a while after the Flying Kipper.
He was just demoted to like small roles, I guess.
Yeah, all the way up until Henry, whatever, Tenders
and
Super Rescue.
Yeah, Super Rescue.
Well,
I think that was the biggest role Henry has gotten.
Tenders for Henry and Super Rescue, where
Yeah.
The Reverend kind of made a story to redeem himself and bring Henry back into the spotlight. I've heard that somewhere. Because that's true. If you look at all the Railway series books in between Henry's book and
his early appearances and stuff,
and Enterprising Engines, he doesn't have
too much of a role.
Too big of a role. He had a couple.
He kind of has a minor role, I guess you could say.
Yeah, he had a couple supporting roles, like in Paint Pots and Queens. And,
but other than that, Henry was pretty much a background character, right?
Yeah, he was kind of pushed back. He didn't have that.
Right? I mean, the best way you could sum that up is Henry was kind of a background character in some stories.
I heard that Reverend just stopped caring about him after a while.
So anyway, that's that.
Something like that.
Now for the basis. Like I mentioned, Henry was originally a cross between a GNR C1 Atlantic and a GNR C1 Atlantic and an A4 Pacific. But after his accident with the Flying Kipper, Henry was rebuilt into his black 5 shape that we know him in today.
And see, and that's another thing about Henry, is that his TV series is not exactly
accurate.
An accurate one. Neither his old model or his new model are entirely.
So what you're saying is Henry's old shape in season 1 wasn't accurate.
Well,
compared to the book.
Well, it kind of was if you compare it. It's not, the tender is a little bit off, but it was, roughly still. And his new shape is nothing like it is in the book.
Yeah, as you can see right there, Henry's old shape tender wasn't really accurate compared to his current shape tender.
It's the same tender too, really, about the same. Here's a picture of him in his new.
In his black 5 shape rebuild.
And his actual, what he's supposed to look like compared to the TV model replica we have right here.
But hey, the TV series isn't perfect in terms of character portrayal.
It's just, and the TV series, all the models are a little bit
like back in the model series. Speaking of which,
they're not exact replicas, and that's what I like the TV series models, but they're not
accurate to their RWS counterparts
or the real life at all.
Except for Edward, Duck, Oliver.
Not even them, not really. Except for the Skarloey engines, because
that's true.
They were purposefully rendered in CGI as close to their
actual basis.
Yeah, that was it. In CGI, they were model series. No, they really. Didn't.
I thought Duck, Oliver, and Bill. I thought Duck, Oliver, and Toby were close to their actual basis.
Duck, yeah. Edward, no.
Sort of. I mean, they have his wheel arrangement.
Edward in the original illustrations, yeah, but when Christopher Audrey took over and Clive Sprong, whatever, they were illustrated a little bit differently. If you look at a book from Chris Audrey or like,
I don't have any copies
or at
of.
least mainline engines, he's a little bit off compared to this
Yeah.
one. But compared to this model, this looks kind of like the DV model.
I will say that for you. Anyway, now for Henry's persona. Well, what can you say about it?
Well, he was.
Well, back then, Henry was portrayed as a well-behaved and vain and arrogant engine at times, as well as kind-hearted.
Scared of the rain, he had a little weakness.
Well, that's his that's his vanity. So, but recently, like during season 8,
he's a tree hugger too, or at least he was.
He was kind of portrayed as a nature hugger or tree hugger. Let's see how many minutes we have on there.
Well, that's how the new series went, at least.
But, even in the Brenner era,
he's still a little.
Although Henry in the Express seems to have brought back his old personality. I don't know if that was temporary, or I don't know.
Yeah, like Henry spots trouble. Yeah.
Yeah, he was a bit of a worrier, to be honest.
And what was it, one season? Another episode? I don't know. Same thing could be said for
time. So anyway, on to the model.
We'll get on to that.
On to the model. What can you say about it, man? Anything? Bachmann introduced the model in 2005, along with Gordon and.
Well, I've never had Bachmann ones, and we were watching reviews of Bachmann versus Hornby, but I like the Bachmanns how they
like capture the look of the TV series models. Like these.
I personally like TV series models. I know they're not exactly
accurate compared to their railway series counterparts, but
I like them better.
Honestly, Henry's Bachmann model is detailed. I like it.
More familiar with
I like it, but the only actually there's like one or two downsides. The first thing is the hooks and lamp iron and brake pipe. This is like their early models, so you can just easily paint that over. So, what do you think about the side, like his wheel arches? What do you think? I think they're great.
That looks cool.
They line up correctly. Now, the only problem with Henry, as well as the other tender engines, is...
They don't have...
Yeah, there's like no open cab detail. In fact... hang on. Let me do something. Now that's better.
Nothing.
Yeah, there's not really anything there. It's just like a blob that's supposed to represent the firebox. Yeah. Okay. Oh, God, wow. This video's gone on for 13 minutes. Wow.
Yeah, oh, well. We'll be fine.
Wow.
We do want to wrap it up.
It's pretty much symmetrical all the way around, but I'm going to wrap up with the face. I'm not going to... You know what? Well, man, why don't you say something about the tender?
It's TV series and accurate. It's TV series based, but it's not exactly accurate. It's always that square shape we're familiar with.
But at least the good thing is that you could fit a crew onto Henry's tender. That's the good thing. There's like some room.
Yeah, there's some room. Here's the real tender.
Like the real Block 5 tender.
Right there.
Okay.
Look at all these people too. Staring into his eyes. I tend to do this a lot.
Well, Tom and Friends Variety does this a lot. So to sum up, what would you rate the Bachmann Henry?
9 out of 11.
Why 9 out of 11? That's not funny. That's so not funny. I give it a 9 out of 10. I mean, its shape is correct, but the looks are also almost, proportionate. What about you?
4 out of 20.
Yeah, that's good enough. I hope you've enjoyed this review, and we'll be back for some more. I'm sorry this video took a year. I know I put this off for a year, but hey, what can you do? I got lazy.
And make sure to subscribe to my channel. There's going to be a link in the description.
Yeah, subscribe to Tom and Friends Variety.
And I'll put this video on my channel too.
So, yeah. I hope you've enjoyed this review, and stay tuned for more videos. Maybe.
Ciao. Ciao.